New at 6, with so many dealing with rising inflation, there are growing calls in our state to give taxpayers some relief.
A state senator wants the governor to call a special session to pass a bill to reduce the state sales tax. KOMO Steve McCarron has more on the lawmakers' push.
Revenues are continuing to come in higher than expected, more than was needed for the budget. The question is, what do policymakers do with that revenue growth?
Jason Mercier tells me the obvious answer to that is to provide taxpayers some relief. The Washington Policy Center even posting this reel on Facebook today, urging action less than a week after the state's revenue projection increased by nearly $1.5 billion.
Over the last couple of years, almost every state provide tax relief back to their citizens. And as we've hit this summer of high inflation, call special sessions to provide additional tax relief. That hasn't been the case in Washington.
The president recently called on Congress to temporarily suspend the federal tax on gas and diesel and wants states to do the same. But last week, the governor told us he worries the move would only make oil and gas companies richer without saving taxpayers any money.
Because we know that they will just turn around and not just pass that savings on to us as consumers, they'll take it for themselves. They'll boost their prices.
State Senator Mark Schessler, a Republican who represents the southeast corner of the state, is pushing Inslee to call a special session to suspend the state's sales tax on just about everything you buy by a percentage point. In a statement, Schessler said he'd like to see it done permanently, but if not, at least continue the suspension until state lawmakers decide inflation is no longer a burden. Mercier tells me a couple of bills to reduce the state sales tax and reform the state tax system were introduced during the last legislative session, but they didn't go very far. Another revenue forecast will be released sometime in September.
And at that point, if it continues to keep increasing above expectations, you'll probably hear those calls get louder for some type of tax relief.
Steve McCarron, KOMO News.
We did reach out to the governor's office for comment about Schessler's call for a special session. We're still waiting to hear back. So if Senator Schessler's proposal goes through, what would that mean for you? The current state sales tax is 6.5%. Reducing it by 1%, it would be 5.5%. Would save you $1 on every $100 you spend. For instance, if you buy $200 worth of groceries today, you'll pay $13 in sales tax. Under the proposed reduction, you would pay $11 in sales tax.
With less